Hey YouTube, how you doing? How are you? Are you all good? Weirdly, it kind of feels like it's been a while, I suppose. I suppose because it's such a cool thing today, because I actually have stuff to say that's important in a way, well, at least as far as this channel goes, and is generally good stuff. So, the TLDR of this video, if you don't watch it for however necessarily it's going to go on for, is that I'm going to be returning to doing like proper gaming documentaries here on YouTube. You know, nice big long videos, you know, the way things kind of used to be on this channel. I suppose that's like the kind of TLR, the long and short of it. Just kind of wanted to do a little update as well, just a general channel update, Kim Justice update. You know, a big talk about the Kim Justice brand, the Kim Justice narrative, and all that sort of thing. Like generally how things have been going in the past year or so while all this whole lockdown thing's been going on. So yeah, it's been kind of an interesting time, I suppose, as far as the channel goes, and as far as like me personally on the internet goes. I mean, 2020 was, I suppose, for my presence on the internet in a lot of ways, in most ways, really. 2020 was a good year. Like the last 12 months or so, I've been doing some very good things. I started doing wrestling documentaries again. I mean, that is on Patreon exclusively, unfortunately, because I can't really do them to a big audience on YouTube because of what happened the first time around, but that's been something that people have responded very well to. And also, I've finally kind of properly really started consistently live streaming. Again, that wasn't really something I could do on YouTube. As you may have noticed, a lot of YouTubers have kind of said that how doing live streams on YouTube actually tends to really hurt their YouTube as a whole. So I'm kind of happy to be doing the live streaming and that on Twitch, but it's something I do now. It's like another part of me. It's kind of like another side to the Kim Justice personality, like the side that I present on Twitch. Well, it's kind of like the real me sort of thing, the real very sweary myself, as opposed to the more, more professional, intelligent person that gets presented on the documentaries and that. So loads of things that have been going fine. There's been other things that are doing fine. YouTube as a whole, over the past 12 months or so, I suppose I would describe it as ticking over, I think, in many ways. I think a lot of the videos, I mean, I'm not saying that everything that I've done in the past 12 months is stuff that I think is bad. I mean, far from it. It's just that as far as like the gaming documentaries and that I used to do, like all the things like the big company retrospectives, the insight into various people, feels like 2020 there wasn't a whole lot of that. I mean, there were cool things. I mean, I did Codemasters last year. That was a good one. There were other videos I did 2020. I was generally happy doing the Sega arcade stuff, especially when I got more in depth on things like the scaler machines, the model machines, and so on. That kind of seemed to evolve more as I went along from being just basically listicles, like ranking games from worst to best, into actually doing research. And I was happy enough with actually finally doing like a list of the worst games, my worst games in my opinion. Because again, I, did some research, almost treated that as like doing like sort of capsule looks at each game almost, while also, having a chance to go off, write silly stuff, try and be funny if, if whatever I do can be called funny. Trying to do stuff like that. But on the other side of things, I don't know, there were some stuff. I mean, I found it very hard. I have found it generally hard recently because, especially with like, Twitch kind of really kicking off, Patreon stuff really kicking off, there's a lot of spinning plates. I am just one person. So it's been hard to like maintain all three of these things, plus other things I do, whether it's like editing for other folks or the odd article I might write here and there. It's been hard to like keep all of these things going. It's like, oh, fucking hell. So perhaps sometimes on YouTube, like I've been doing, perhaps I feel I've been doing too many like lists, like listicles. I mean, listicles are fine. People like listicles. They like to know what your favourite games on a system are. They like to know about all that stuff. But is it the stuff that my channel really started kicking off on? No, not really. It's not necessarily, it's not looks at Clive Sinclair. It's not, some nice obscurity, a nice, narrative story. I think generally when people think of my channel, they may not necessarily think of like the top 50 Sega Mega Drive games or whatever. that's not really what I do. I mean, even if people do like it when I do it. So there was that, and also, I mean, trying to like, because I mean, for most of my time when I've been doing like Kim Justice, for most of that time, I've uploaded weekly. That's always been what I've kind of set myself to want to upload weekly videos, and for a long time that worked because YouTube was kind of the only thing. Like the Patreon itself was of course always around, but that was very much connected to YouTube. It wasn't like I was doing a separate thing on Patreon. Um, so the YouTube, so those have always been very inextricably linked. So I was kind of able to do like weekly, really good videos. And I kind of feel, I mean, I feel personally anyway, that with that, certainly with like the videos I was kind of doing at the start of this year, it was becoming a struggle. Like I was not fine, I was unable to kind of organize my head into a sort of time space. Oh god, that was just organize my head into a time space. What the hell was that I just said? I wasn't able to like organize properly. Yeah, just organize. In a way that really I felt allowed to do, like, big documentary videos that I used to do. I kind of thought like the videos that I did kind of the start of the year, I did like the first Jurassic Park one. It's like, oh, there's going to be a Jurassic Park series. Didn't happen. The GoldenEye one, even the Get Stuffed one. I mean, that was an experiment, but it's like, this isn't really the stuff that, it's not proper Kim Justice stuff. It's not like, it's not, all the burners aren't on, basically. At least that's how I kind of felt for myself. So I kind of felt for a period of time, I didn't really say much. I didn't, take a big video on here to say, oh, I need to take a break. But I kind of did. At least I wanted to kind of recharge batteries on YouTube and kind of figure out, how I'm going to get to doing things on YouTube again. Because I don't want my YouTube to just become Twitch highlights. I mean, as much as I enjoy the stuff I do on Twitch, I like to think mainly of YouTube and Twitch as its own separate thing, unless I specifically do something on Twitch that I know is going to be on YouTube, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I kind of like to keep these things separated as much as possible, in the immortal words of the offspring. So I turned into Chrissy Eubank there for a minute, sorry about that. And I've kind of figured it out. I mean, I've kind of figured out in my mind, and hopefully you guys will agree with me, I mean, whether you will or not, that I'd much rather have at least one really good documentary video a month rather than 4 middling videos. Not to say that there's only going to be one video per month. I mean, again, that's something I'll get onto. But that's the way I kind of feel, almost like I do with wrestling stuff on Patreon. I try to make sure that I produce one thing a month there, and it's a high quality thing, like the Kenta Kobashi thing that I've just done on there. If you want to check that out, you can go to the link below, Patreon, if you're into wrestling, if you're into pro-res. Sorry, had to get plugs out of the way. And I kind of feel that I need to apply that same thing with YouTube, because, that's going to give me plenty of time to do something that's, really going to be engrossing. That's going to, really grip an audience and, hopefully do all right. We'll see. You can never tell with YouTube. And, I don't really want to necessarily sit here and say, the algorithms, not doing right by me and all that. Because I think it is also about, whether I personally feel stuff that I have uploaded in the past couple of months is really to my standards. And I don't think stuff like Jurassic Park and GoldenEye, whatever, was necessarily bad, but not great, not like brilliant content. Like, this is amazing, Kim, well done. I think you know what I mean. It's a lot of like personal touches here as well. So with that in mind, there's kind of 2 things I have coming up, 2 very different things that should be coming over the next like 7 days ish. The next big gaming documentary, which I want to release next week, whether it's next Monday or next Wednesday, kind of undecided on that, it's currently in scripting at the moment, basically, is Tomb Raider. We're going back to Tomb Raider, specifically Tomb Raider 1 and 2. If you've been watching my Twitch, you'll have seen me playing them. I've been kind of really getting back into that sort of thing. So yeah, I want to do a video, like, I'm not sure if a video necessarily has been done that really goes, in depth on like the creation of Tomb Raider, the popularity of Lara Croft back in those days. I did do the Tomb Raider series in 2014. I did like the PS1 games, and I tried to do everything that was there at the time, essentially, in that 3-part series. But those videos are crap. Let's be honest, those Tomb Raider videos are utterly rubbish. I mean, you can watch them. I have actually made them public again. They were unlisted for a couple of years because I hated them so much. But they're not very good. They didn't really go into any detail at all. So this is kind of like, I've been meaning for a long time to actually think I need to go back to Tomb Raider and do it properly. At least the first two games, at least like the PS1, the proper Lara Mania times. I'm not going to do every frigging Tomb Raider game. That's not going to happen. I want to concentrate more on the stuff that I'm really actually interested in doing. And there's stuff that I care about and stuff that I don't care about. So yeah, that's the idea. And at the moment, it's going very well. I've got plenty of ideas. The scripts, all whirring around in my head. I've got about 5,000 words written so far. Basically, and I've not even got into like reviewing the first Tomb Raider. Still got to write about Tomb Raider 2 as well, and like the general Lara Croft spectacular, world went mad over her back in the day sort of dealio. So yeah, plenty to do there. There's other stuff in my head as well. I want to do Trespasser still. I want to do Jurassic Park Trespasser. Really, to be honest, Jurassic Park Trespasser, when I started doing that was the game I really wanted to do all along. That's the most interesting one. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I did a video about the Mega Drive one. It's like, yeah, I'm going to do about the SNES one. But then when it actually came to sitting down and trying to write, I was just like, I have nothing to say. I have very little to say here because I wanted to do Trespasser, and kind of that's how I feel, rather than try to do everything, concentrate on this one thing that you really like. And again, I really feel like an in-depth video about Trespasser would be something really awesome to do. There's other things that are wearing away. A part of me is starting to think about Metal Gear Solid again. Like, I have been thinking about Metal Gear Solid in periods of time for like many years, so perhaps it's finally time. This is the sort of things I want to do, projects that are potentially big, even if they're necessarily only focused on like one or two games, stuff that really goes. I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've done, basically, if I was to narrow it down in a sentence, I feel like I've not been going in depth enough. I feel in a lot of ways with a lot of stuff, I've not been going in depth enough. I've kind of only been going surface level. And, Kim Justice is more about getting in there, getting really deep. So, geez, that sounded fucking wrong, didn't it? I'm sure there were many better ways that I could have expressed that than how I just did. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's about doing the research. It's about really getting out and looking for stuff. So that's kind of what I want to do now. Another thing that's kind of a different nature, that is something that I've started doing on Twitch. Well, as of like, I've done it once and it went okay. There's the meme concept of tier lists that a lot of YouTubers seem to like. And I thought it would be cool, rather than doing the things that tier lists are usually used for, such as, I don't know, ranking the best TikTok users from Singapore or whatever, doing it for retro games. Retro game tier list. I've done one on Ocean Software licensed games. I picked like 25 of them, did a whole stream, and kind of did the list as we go with the help of the awesome people who watch my Twitch. And again, if you want to watch my Twitch, it's in the description below. Go subscribe, follow, blah, 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 etc. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I think that's a cool idea, and it's something that, I'd like to put on YouTube in an edited form. Like, I've edited down the Ocean Software one to like about half an hour, it's about 5 hours stream odd. So I've edited it down to half an hour, had to do YouTube things like block out a lot of the swear words, because the last time I uploaded Twitch highlights to my YouTube, God, it damn near destroyed my channel single-handedly. It was like, there were so many swear words, so many, you know me, if you've seen me on Twitch, you know what I'm like. There was so much of that, it was just like my literally, my earnings went from, nice, just cruising on to went through the bloody floor. And, one has to think about that. So, yeah. And also, I mean, there's other things, in Twitch. Some people have asked, like, things like, where's the A to Z of Amiga? I have binned that project, because it was just a stupid thing. It was basically just me going on Twitch and playing loads of Amiga games for 2 minutes at a time. I do, like, an awesome Amiga thing now every Friday on Twitch, where I concentrate on one game specifically. Like, I actually played more of Odyssey last time out. Oh, that game's wonderful. Have you ever played Odyssey on the Amiga, like, properly? I did it on the Euro Platformers video last year. The game's amazing. That's like the best Shadow of the Beast game, even though it's not Shadow of the Beast. Yeah, you ought to play that. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, that's kind of things that I'm doing, and that's kind of stuff that I want to do on YouTube. I will probably also continue every now and again to take some like the old stuff and put them into like a one nice package, like that I did with like the Peter Molly and Jack Tramiel stuff. It feels like people do like to consume some content that way. And God, I said content. Anyway, it feels like people like to consume stuff that way, so it's nice to have that option. So yeah, I feel at the moment, I feel like I've taken a bit of time to recharge my batteries, and I do now feel quite invigorated when it comes to producing like gaming stuff again, because there was a time like a couple of months ago when I was looking at gaming stuff and the ideas just weren't coming, the videos weren't necessarily like ones I was super happy with, and I was kind of feeling like, ugh, winter blues, call it. So, generally, this update video hopefully brings good things, and I hope that the stuff that I bring out, whether it is the tier list or indeed the Tomb Raider video that will be coming, I hope it's stuff that you enjoy. Most of all, it's all about, getting that love, isn't it? Getting that love, getting that what's the word like? Oh yeah, engagement. That's what they call it. That's the what love is a euphemism for in YouTube land. Anyway, just thought I wanted to chat all about that with you. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I hope all's going nicely as it can be. So yeah, I'll probably be releasing the Ocean tier list video on Wednesday, and yeah, Tomb Raider, all things being good, next week. And with that, I shall end this video. Thank you very much for watching, and whether it's here or on Twitch or wherever, I will see you later. Bye for now.